Today I have another video more about artist mindset, and we're going to talk about what the worst thing to do is when you hit a roadblock in your art. Welcome back to Pencils and Stories. My name is Henrike and I make and teach comics. If you want to make your own comics as well, then subscribe to this YouTube channel for weekly videos. And to illustrate the points in my video, I'm going to be making this piece of artwork. It starts out a bit messy, and that actually relates to what I'm going to talk about. So sit back, enjoy, or just put it up and do some of your own artwork, and let's dive in. What is a good artist mindset when it comes to making mistakes and doing imperfect art? Well, I'll tell you what I did when that happened to me in 2006. I stopped drawing. That was not the smartest thing. But by talking to hundreds of artists over the years, I know I'm not alone. Most artists who have known what it's like to, create and have that fun, and it's just something that is inside of us that we want to do, that drive to do art that never really goes away. Not even when we have a period of art block or dry spell or whatever you want to call it. So what I did, and what I think a lot of us do, is we still keep trying to learn things. So we keep watching tutorials, and we keep writing our stories, we keep sketching things, we keep building worlds for our comics, and then we think one day we will get it, and we feel ready to tackle all the complicated things that I cannot do right now. But this is passive learning. We still are not really drawing, but by doing this, we keep our brain occupied, and we think we are actively working on improving. But we haven't addressed the real problem, and that is we stopped creating because we see our current skill level as a value judgment. We judge ourselves, like, I'm a bad artist and I cannot do this. We make judgment on what we did in the past, like, I should have worked harder. We let that also predict our future. Like, we say things like, I will never learn, I will never become a good artist. And then making mediocre or bad work slowly grows into something that is to be feared. Making art becomes a struggle. So what happens? Daily life takes over, and it becomes harder and harder to create. Also, because we are not creating, we get rusty. So it gets even harder, and our drawings get even worse in our eyes. Meanwhile, we keep seeing all this good art, and our tastes improve. So that turns into this negative cycle. That was something I was very stuck in. I consumed tons of articles, books, tutorials, videos, like all the things. But it wasn't until I did an actual art course that had homework and that actually made me draw that I slowly got out of my art block. We're kind of waiting somehow to become better artists. But the truth is that the process of making art isn't perfect. We will mess up. We will make mistakes. And oftentimes artists need to do multiple sketches. We do tons of thumbnails for our compositions. We problem solve, we tweak things. I have this blog post on my website that has the first sketches for my main character, Bern, from Recollection City. It's dumb. It looks so bad, but you have to start somewhere. And then slowly you get to where you want to go, but you cannot get there without doing the thing. I just want to say, like, there is no way to make art without making mistakes and without frustration. And then I say mistakes, like quote unquote mistakes, because I don't really believe in making mistakes in art. Yes, sure, you can have a tangent in the wrong place. You can make mistakes, obviously, but it's nothing that can be fixed. Unless you ruin a painting, but then you have learned something. You always learn something, and just one big win already is knowing that you made a mistake. Like, a lot of times you don't even see the stuff that we can improve on, and it's a win when you finally start seeing it and know what you can improve on. It gets bad when we get frustrated and we think that it's bad that we make these mistakes. But the frustration is normal, and mistakes are how we learn. But as long as we still see our mess ups and roadblocks as bad, and we treat it as a value judgment of ourselves as artists, we will resist doing art. You wouldn't ask a dancer to be able to dance a routine perfectly in one go. Like, yeah, but you just watch that entire Nutcracker dance routine, ballet dancer, and they will go like, yeah, but I need to practice, and I'm gonna fail 100 times before I can dance it. That's normal. But visual artists, for some reason, put this pressure on themselves. Don't expect to never make bad art. And don't expect every experiment, new techniques, new styles, new mediums to go perfectly on the first try. Like, that's not a thing. And don't expect to draw something amazing from your imagination if you haven't practiced doing, like, drawing from reference. And I'm talking to my past self here. Like, let's be clear. Like, this can kind of seem like a know-it-all kind of like video, but this was me. I was afraid to start a webcomic. There was a good chance I felt like this, and there was a good chance that I wasn't going to be able to draw everything that I wanted, that I would quit, that it would look uglier than I thought. And I did quit. I didn't even start. And yes, there was a gap in my knowledge that I needed to bridge. But the biggest reason was that I saw my mistakes and I got scared. So I stopped. And that is the worst thing that I could have done. I cringe whenever I think about how much further I could have gotten in my art in those 7 years of art block. And there were other things, of course, going on as well. But I just want to say with this video, if you can help it, don't be me. The only way to get rid of fear is to go through it. And that looks different for everyone. Like, maybe you need to commit to only making ugly art on purpose for a year. If you want to make your own comics, you've never done it before, you have to go through the first initial awkward stages. I did a video before about making my first art page, and that is how it goes. Yeah, go through the process, get familiar with it, and get familiar with all the roadblocks you'll run into, because running into roadblocks is not going to stop. That will always be a thing, because you're always stretching yourself, and there will always be things that you want to be doing and you cannot do yet. But keep looking to the future, because that future always holds a better artist version of yourself. That's called a growth mindset. You have like a fixed mindset of like, I have a certain amount of talent, that's what I have, I cannot change it. And then you have the growth mindset, which is, I can improve. If I put in the work, I improve and I get better. As they say, trust the process. And just don't do what I did. You never know when your next breakthrough will be. That was it for this week's video. I hope it was helpful or maybe encouraging. Of course, there's factors as well when it comes to art block about, mental health and making sure you are in a good place so you have all the space to be creative and create art. I did a whole series about my own journey with art block. You can find the links to all those videos in the description. But I want to bring your attention to a specific thing this week as well, and that is that I'm making a very practical course, and it's called How to Start a Comic, and it is meant to take you through the entire pre-production process of your comic. So I will give you all the steps you need to be taking in order to be as prepared as possible, and so you don't get stuck somewhere in a certain phase and you don't start procrastinating. So if you follow the steps in the course, you will be ready to start making your pages. There will be a module about starting your first page as well, and some bonus. So I am going to launch this course on Kickstarter, and I have opened a notification list, and you can be on it if you want to be notified as soon as the Kickstarter launches. So go to the description for that as well. I will put the link in there. You can put yourself on the notification list. Make sure to confirm. I've seen a few people not confirm, like that email address. You will get a confirmation email. You have to click the link in there. And you will be notified the moment the Kickstarter launches when you do that. And I'm super excited to bring you this course because I keep seeing so many people wanting to make a comic, but either not really knowing what they need to be doing, which was a thing that got me stuck in my art block as well, but also feeling like they're not ready and they're not quite confident. And my aim with this course is to help you build that confidence so you can start making comics. If you liked this video, is a little bit different than what I normally do. I do like making these kinds of videos every now and so often.
just because of my own experiences. And one of my goals is to really help you get through these things so you don't get as stuck for as long as I was. If this was a video that you liked, leave it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. We have hit the 450 subscriber milestone. I'm super excited about that, super thankful. Thank you so much for subscribing. I'm also so happy to hear from so many of you that the channel is actually helping you and encouraging you, and that just makes me so happy. So thanks so much. Thanks for watching as well, for watching this video, and have a great day. Go out and make some comics.